Hey there, it's gone, girl. I was just doing some thinking. Got that same headache again, but the wall doesn't need a dent in it, so I'm not going to bash it through the wall. I've been thinking about what's going on our YouTube streets here. There's been a lot of real life happening where people are taking their fights off of YouTube and going real life. I don't understand the purpose. It's childish. It's as if we're not grown adults. We can't fight our fights online, so we have to go offline to dig through people's lives to, I don't know, embarrass them, shame them, or I think sometimes it's just for content. But the one thing that you have to realize is what you see offline isn't always a true picture. There are people out there that have millions of dollars and they don't live like a millionaire. They live in a small house, drive an older truck or car or SUV because they have enough self-confidence in themselves that they do not have to flash to the world, "Hey, look at me. I got lots of money." You know, there's been very rich people out there that you've learned probably most of the time after they've passed away that they lived the most frugal and unassuming lives that people didn't even know. They had a dime to their name. And on the flip side, there's a lot of people who have this wonderful life, this really expensive lifestyle. But guess what? If you really knew inside their life, they're credited to the hilt. They're literally living their lifestyle on other people's money, on borrowed money, on credit cards. That's a very common thing nowadays, that people fund their lives on credit. It's not their money. It's basically the bank's money and everybody else's money. So are they true millionaire? Do they truly have aspired to have this wonderful lifestyle that they're showing the world? No, they're not. They're just the average Joe with lots of credit, and which means equals a lot of debt. And on another side of that, there are people out there who are living paycheck to paycheck. They have moderate homes. They have moderate type vehicles. They're paying their way in society. They may have their own business or they may be working for a business. What's wrong with that? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But more importantly, what does YouTube have to do with how people live their lives? Nothing. Are they famous? Are they movie stars? Are they on Wall Street? Are they people that are important enough that the news people want to look into them because they've done something so fabulous that the world wants to know how they got there? No, these are YouTube streets, not the real streets. I think people should stop. I think it's childish. I think it's kind of pathetic in my eyes that you have to go that low. You know, we went from name calling to now job shaming and house shaming and whatever. But you know what? Nobody wins. Nobody wins. It's a fight that literally nobody wins because it doesn't matter whether you live in a crate box under a bridge or you live in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Neither scenarios make you a good, bad, or better person. What you show, how you treat people, that shows your worth way more than money, possessions or whatever. How you treat people, how kind you are, how caring you are, that's more a measurement of your worth than anything, because anybody can eventually get credit cards and buy silly purchases to keep up with the Joneses and to say, hey, look, I'm important, I'm important, I'm important. But guess what? When that big house gets burnt down or something happens and you don't have it, then guess what? Your whole image is taken away. What do you have left? You have to make your foundation on being good to people and kind to people. So whether you have money or not, you have a foundation of real people and real friends in your life. I mean, I'm really nobody, but I do know that money doesn't mean anything. People, where they live, what they drive, is not even an indication of how much money they have. A lot of times it's what matters to them. Do I need a car that the whole neighborhood thinks that I'm better than everybody, or do I need a car to get from A to B? Which really, literally, cars are made to go from A to B, and that's about it. But when you have low self-esteem, you have to have the biggest, the best, the most. People with the lowest self-esteems are the one usually with the flashiest toys, because their whole image is wrapped up in what they own. But on the flip side, I don't think anybody should have to prove their finances, where they live, what they do. It's YouTube. You don't owe anybody an explanation. And people want to flash their stuff, let them flash their stuff. That says more about them than it does about you. It's ridiculous. And I'm sorry people are falling into the trap. It's an easy trap to fall into. You know, prove this, prove that, prove the other. But you don't have to prove anything. You only have to prove to yourself your own self-worth. You only have to prove to yourself how much things matter in life. Your own priorities are the most important, not on YouTube. YouTube does not deem what your priorities, good, bad, or indifferent, because as I say, these people aren't in your real life. So what does it matter? But as I usually say, please be kind to each other. Please stop this insanity, because it really is insanity. And as I'm sitting here where I live, getting buried under snow, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the weekend. And as I say, try to be good to each other. But please stop this back and forth on who's got this, who's got that, who went to school for this, who went to school for that. Because in the grand scheme of things, YouTube isn't a place for look at me, look at me, look at me. Because that doesn't affect your real life one iota. So please take care. Please stay awesome. Please be good to each other. Gone girl. She's gone.